When I work on the computer, I like to make sure I know where everything is. I'm a very neat person that way. Even my desk is organized. All the books that belong to a certain category are piled away neatly because I cannot have a day where I have to look through tons and tons of things to find the particular book or magazine or image that I need. So you can do the same thing in Toom Studio. You can get as organized as you possibly want to. And you can do this by creating catalogs within the actual library. So let's say I want to create a catalog that contains all the different parts of this truck so that later on, if I'm working on any other project and I need a wheel like this, I can just go to my catalog of truck parts and find it. And you can do this for any file. And you can put it in either the local library, which will of course be only accessible through the current project, or in the global library so that everyone on your team can access this file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the window menu and I'm going to choose to open up my library. And as you see here, when I twirl down the animation, I can see that I have this wheel, the wheel front, the truck body, and the farm. So what I could do, of course, is I can go to my global library or my local library, and I can right-click and choose to create a new catalog. And as you see, we have other options we can play with as well. So I'll talk about this after I open a new catalog. So I'll create a new catalog, and I can double-click, and I can rename this catalog. I can call it Truck Parts. And by the way, if you have a hard time double-clicking, all you have to do is right-click on anything and choose Rename Catalog, and then you can type the name. Now that I have the truck parts, what I can do is, right from my timeline or from my exposure sheet, I can drag stuff right in there. So let's go ahead and go to my timeline. I'll drag the wheel rear right into my truck parts. And this time I'll go to my exposure sheet, and I'll grab the wheel front and drag that right on into the truck parts. And I'll drag the truck body. So you can see, you can use either the timeline or the exposure sheet if you want to. And to see what you have there, just double click on the file and you can see what it looks like. And you can look at a preview if it's animated or not. And double click. And now you see you have all your truck parts. If I want to rename this later on or delete it, all I have to do is right click and I can rename the catalog. I can delete this catalog or whatever I need to do. So this is a very, very handy way for people who, like myself, need to be organized in order to live their daily lives. Now, I can create as many catalogs as I want to. So I can right-click on the global library or the local library, create a new catalog, and I can call it Backgrounds, for example. And here, I can go and grab my picture of the farm and drag that right on in there. And I can open up other files. So let's go ahead and save this library. So I'll go ahead and go to the File menu and save Global Library. And now I can open up another file that has a lot of elements in it. Let's see here. The Pirate Hideaway is a good example. I'll go ahead and not save this file because I don't want to save the file. I save the library. And we'll wait for this guy to open up. And now it's open. I'll go ahead and just bring the library to the front again. So let me go ahead and hide that and bring it to the front. And as you see here, in my global library, I have my truck parts and my backgrounds. I can now, in my backgrounds, grab the clouds and drag those right on in here. And drag the sky. And now I have more elements in this folder. So I can go from file to file and continually build on my global library so that I have a lot of files I can draw from at any time. So making catalogs is a great way to get organized, and I would suggest doing it early as you start to build your Toom Studio projects so you can reuse these elements in other projects as you work.